Welcome to Draw One Last Breath Horror Podcast. My name's Matt.
And I'm Butch.
And there's no Geordie Paul. Welcome to episode 184. We have been to the cinema to watch M3GAN 2.0, and we are doing, it's a big one, guys,
Denim, 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 denim.
Steven Spielberg's Jaws. We finally made it.
You find,
Finally.
and as a special treat, we've got Steven Spielberg on the pod.
And here he is, all the way from California. I'm not even going to bother doing an accent or anything like that. Attempt to do anything like that. No, we haven't. We wish.
But
Anyway,
yeah,
how are you? You all right?
I'm all right. I'm here. Unfortunately, Paul just decided that he no longer likes Jaws, and hates it, so he's boycotting the podcast for this episode. So
Yeah.
today, up to
And
him.
apparently he's given me all his Jaws memorabilia as well, which
Oh,
is
that's
quite cool.
nice. That's
Yeah.
nice. Even the Jaws revenge poster I got him for Christmas.
Apart from that, because that's his favorite Jaws movie, apparently.
There. I mean, it is a good one. Michael Caine, genius.
It paid for his mother's house. Really bad. Really bad.
What's been going on there, dude? What, have you been watching much last couple of weeks?
Do you know what? I have watched a couple of bits, not a lot. Um, so I have watched after watching 28 weeks, sorry, 28 years later, I thought I'd go and rewatch 28 weeks later. And
I also did that.
did you?
Yeah,
It's brilliant, but it's like, I don't know, it's not as good as I remember it because it's just like, I just remember like, I just this time round watching it again, I was like, it just seems like they've just, they put the Americans in there to get that kind of audience up. And, it has got one of the best opening scenes. I
100%.
didn't realize that it was directed, the only bit of the film that was directed by Danny Boyle was that first opening scene. And then, yeah, the rest, it just kind of goes downhill. It's got some good bits, but
It's got some
it's
good
not great.
bits.
It's not great.
But the production on it is just, it's got a gloss over it, which I think that's probably what we didn't like. Forgot that Jeremy Renner was in it. That was quite
Yeah, I mean,
interesting.
he's good, but it's like I felt like he's a bit wasted.
Imogen Poots.
Yeah,
It had some moments in it. I mean, the underground bit was still pretty freaky, but it's sort of like, um, I don't know. It's got a little bit too much glossy shine on it, really.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
And I
I,
totally forgot, spoilers for the ending. Totally forgot that the last scene is like the infected running through Paris.
in through the Channel Tunnel
Yeah,
into Paris. Yeah,
because you see
so
the
not a direct. I mean, they did say they bat and bat, but it's more, 28 years later, it's definitely taken after. Forget about 28 weeks later, and just yeah, it's more like
yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. Cool, cool. Well, I watched a film with Sigourney Weaver in it that I hadn't
What
seen
did you
before.
watch?
Copycat.
What a classic, man. That was
I've
a
never,
great movie.
never seen it. I mean, talk about when we watched like Manhunter and stuff like that. It's well on those that sort of level. But and it was really it's got was it a name Holly Hunter as well, I think. And yeah, I've not seen this before. I thought it was really fucking good. It's Sigourney Weaver is a specialist in serial killers, and she gets PTSD after an incident with a serial killer, nearly gets her. And then later on, when we meet back with her, there's another serial killer who's copying like all the classics, but he's trying to do all the classics basically. And she sort of gets embroiled in that. She's agoraphobic. She's kept inside. I don't know. It was quite good.
It's a very good film. I remember renting that from the video shop when I was a wee young snapper. Yeah, I
Nice.
thought I thought that's really good.
I also caught the
Need to revisit it, I
yeah, I
think.
also caught the passenger. It's maybe yeah, it's got like Kyle Gowner in it,
Oh, your favorite?
my little man crush. Um, and honestly, this movie is basically that they're working in a sort of fast food place, and then something ticks off Kyle Gowner's character, and he sort of just goes on a bit of a spree. bit destructive, bit like Dinner in America, but he's got, he's just got this great physique about him in terms of the way he sort of positions the character. It's more about the person he's with, as in the passenger, who takes on this murderous sort of rampage. But it wasn't as guts and glory as I thought it was going to be, but it was decent. It was a real good indie flick to
Okay.
watch. So that was
Where did you watch that on?
it was cost me £3.49, but worth every penny. It was on Amazon
Okay.
Prime. So yeah, definitely worth
Right.
that. But yeah, that's all I've watched. Apart from getting into the Sandman that came out today.
Ah, okay. I watched a couple of other things. Have you managed to catch K-pop Demon Hunters yet? The movie on
No,
Netflix.
what the fuck is that?
So this is a film made by the Sony studio. So this is same kind of animation as all the Spider-Verse movies.
Okay.
So the animation is awesome, but it basically follows this kind of like Korean like folklore that demons are attacking the world, and every era there's like a group of singers in that era that have to battle the demons. So you've got like it's crazy. There's this kind of story of all the lore behind it, and it's like there's singers from like the olden times, and then the 60s, and then the 80s, and then all the way up to now. But this story follows a story from now, so it's a K-pop band. I mean, look, I'm not into K-pop, but the storyline is awesome, the animation's cool, and it's actually really funny and quite there's quite some kind of gory bits in it and stuff.
Okay.
But it's well worth a watch. I think you'll like it. It's only about an hour and 40 long, so I definitely go and check that out. And I also went and watched Jaws 2. But
Oh,
we'll talk about that later.
all right, mate. Thought you might. Cool, cool, cool. All right, well, let's get on to some news. What you got for me?
Excellent. So first off, I've got a bit of news. Did you hear the news of Rhea Ripley?
No,
So
I mean,
apparently she
apart from her being like Queen of the Ring.
Queen of the Ring indeed, yeah. However,
For those who didn't know, me and Matt have got a little bit of a crush on wrestling at the moment, so we've been following it for quite some time, quite many years, but sort of revisiting it again.
so she's come out and says she would love to be in Terrifier 4. And Damien Leone responds by saying, "The wheels are turning." So
Fuck
she
yes.
Yeah, I know it'd be crazy. So she might be coming to Terrifier franchise. Apparently she's vocal her love for the films in previous years, as loving Art the Clown, even been spotted wearing Art the Clown merchandise in the past, and she's even apparently signed franchise merchandise stuff at her conventions. So that's going to be fucking nuts if it is.
Yeah,
Like, God knows what happens. I mean, imagine if she fights Art the Clown or something, or she's like a demon or something. I don't know. It's fucking crazy. That could be really, really cool.
very cool.
You
Okay,
got any
cool.
news?
Well, I got some podcast related movie Jaws news.
Yeah,
I had been looking for some merch that I could possibly purchase for the 50th anniversary. Why not?
cool.
So San Diego Comic-Con is around the
Oh, don't
corner.
say that word.
Yeah.
That means it's going to be unobtainable, right?
I mean, it's unattainable for the price, but and probably the
God.
space that it would take up in your house.
Is it a
But
bit of the Orca boat? The
no,
actual Orca? Oh,
it's a
okay.
new thing they're releasing for the 50th anniversary, coming from Stern Pinball Inc.
Oh, I've seen this. Oh my God.
Nearly 10 grand, 10,000 US dollars. Nearly.
Am I right in saying Kevin Smith got sent one of these?
Oh, I heard about this on the
Yeah.
pod. Yeah.
Jealous.
It looks absolutely gorgeous though.
Yeah.
I love pinball. I went and I spent, when I went to New York, I spent an afternoon playing pinball machines, classic pinball machines. This is great. If I had 10 grand, it would be fucking sick to own this. I mean, it's stunning. All the colors. This would be my dream to play that.
Yeah, I saw a picture of it and I was like, oh my God, looks absolutely stunning. And I bet like the music and the sounds are just insane.
Yeah, there's a couple of other bits coming out as well. There's a documentary titled The Jaws at 50, The Definitive Inside Story. That is actually coming to National Geographic on July 10th. Um, uh, and then obviously we know about the 50th anniversary 4K Ultra HD edition as well that's due out.
Hmm.
Lovely jubbly. Yeah. So,
Amazing. I've
got any
got
more?
some more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
on.
I've got some more. So Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead is coming out on Steelbook and 4K, with new uncensored cut coming. So apparently this is going to be out in September 23rd via Sony. So the picture of it looks pretty cool. The artwork's cool. I don't know if we're going to get it in the UK.
Is this
So
the 90s one?
yeah, the Tom Savini directed one. Yeah,
I've never seen it.
I've seen it, but I think I've literally seen it once. And what I
Right.
remember, it's not actually that bad.
Okay. I might try and dig it. I might try and dig it out. It's one of the ones that I sort of bypassed. But those sort of, you know, I love like Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead and that. But trailer wise, I
Mm.
caught the new Glenn Powell Running Man trailer. Do you see it?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
It's a different. It's a different story, different premise. Obviously, in the Arnie one, he sort of gets kidnapped, doesn't he? Pretty much,
Yeah.
and a couple of his mates, and then they get put on the game show. This looks like he's kind of like at a loose end in terms of money, and it's almost like instead of going through a game show-esque thing, it's almost like everyone's he's got to survive a city or like survive in normal life. That's what it
Yeah, rather than a
feels
game show.
like. Which they've done that premise in a couple of other things recently as
Mhm.
well. There's like one that was on about a lottery. So I'm not sure of it. I'm not sure of it at the moment. But I don't know if reading the book if this follows more of the book or not. I don't know. But it doesn't sort of like have that, I don't know, like, you know, degraded city vibe to it.
I
This is
mean,
almost
I haven't read the book, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But I have heard rumors that it is more true to the book.
interesting.
But I mean, I love Edgar Wright and I love his movies, so I'm hoping that it's going to be pretty
Love
crazy.
love a bit of Glenn Powell as well.
Yeah, I don't mind him. He's an all-rounder, isn't he? So,
Yeah,
cannot go wrong with that one.
definitely worth a
Uh,
watch.
I've got a couple more bits. Apparently, Fantasia 2025 festival has booked another movie on, and this is apparently going to be a really good movie. It's got loads of really good hype around it. Now, I'm going to murder the title, but it's called The Book of Sejun and Lillian. It's an Indonesian horror.
Oh, we love them.
Um, yeah, so apparently they've just put it on their roster to show at the film festival. It's got a lot of buzz around it, and it's got a lot of love, and apparently it's very trauma in places as well, which
When
sounds interesting.
is Fantasia Fest? Because you know there was a lot that came out of it. From if you remember last year, there was like some really fucking cool movies and stuff like that that came out of that.
The events programming is running from the 17th of July through to August 3rd, 2025. So yeah,
We should
um,
keep an eye on that.
yeah, so that's interesting. Have you got any other stuff?
Nope, I'm all done.
I've got a couple more bits, mate. One is our friend of the pod, Charlie Steeds, has got his film funded through Indiegogo, which is the Deep South Death House. So that's really cool. I actually put some money on it as well. So I supported him. Just got a Blu-ray version coming. So he's got to his goal, so he's being made. So congratulations, Charlie. Well made up for you. So that's really good to see. And I said we'll try and get him on the podcast soon, and we'll have a chat about it because I'd be quite interested to see how these things work and get a little insight into what the movie's about more.
Lovely job.
So that's really cool. And not to end on well, to end on a bit of a sad note, really, one of my favorite Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. Um, basically Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Bob Almore, the guy that played Leatherface and did some stunts, as unfortunately he passed away. So that's really sad. What a movie, though. What a movie.
What a bloody movie. Ah, okay. Good. Okay. Well, let's try and get something on a bit more cheery. Don't know. And talk about our main review.
How do I say
I'll
goodbye?
admit, there were some bugs in my programming. It's hardly fair to blame me for that.
So hard to say goodbye.
But one thing hasn't changed. I will do whatever it takes to protect Katie. What the hell is this? You put me in this plastic Teletubby?
Prove you can be trusted, maybe we'll give you an upgrade.
Mrs. Forrester, we have a problem. We're hunting an autonomous android named Amelia. She was built using your design for M3GAN.
How's this possible? You deleted it.
Apparently you didn't. Nothing in our arsenal can stop her. She's gone rogue, killing anyone who's contributed to her creation.
I think I did it again.
And you and Katie are next.
I know how to stop Amelia. She's getting more powerful. Soon she'll be the most dangerous weapon on the planet. Put me in a body and I'll help you stop her.
You remember what happened last time. You threatened to rip out my tongue and put me in a wheelchair.
I was upset.
Look, she wants to help us. Everyone deserves a second chance.
You would like us to rebuild a deranged robot in order to catch another one.
Would you prefer I gave you a printout that you can read at your own pace?
Okay, M3GAN. Time to give you an upgrade. Anything you'd like to add?
I want to be stronger, faster. Hey, so remember the time I strangled you and set the lab on fire? I want you to know that won't happen again.
Thank you so much.
And while you're at it, make me taller. All right, meat sacks. Let's get to work.
Well, look who came out to play.
I was programmed to protect Katie. The only question is, are you going to stand in my way? Hold on to your vaginas.
I don't care if she did kill 4 people. She is a smoking hot warrior princess.
I'll make you a deal. You can kill Gemma, but don't touch Katie.
M3GAN.
We were about to just move on to our main review, but we just had a little bit of a text come in for another bit of sad news, unfortunately. I mean, for anyone who's like a Quentin Tarantino fan and, you know, Heat, Kill Bill, Reservoir Dogs, Michael Madsen's passed away at 67.
That is no age to be passing away.
No, that's really, really sad. He was a fucking absolute legend, he was.
Absolute legend.
Was he in
What?
Species as well?
Oh God.
Oh God, I think he was in
Now
Species.
you're asking.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Wow. We gotta move on from that. RIP, man.
Yeah,
And
that's really sad.
get on to let's talk about some killer robots.
Okay, so this week's main review, we've been to cinema to watch M3GAN 2.0. 2 years after M3GAN's rampage, her creator Gemma resorts to resurrecting her infamous creation in order to take down Amelia, the military-grade weapon who was built by a defense contractor who stole M3GAN's underlying tech. Wow, wow, wow. This is very interesting.
It's not done well at the box office, is it?
No, I've seen this. So what, the original one does like something like 130 mil or
It's
something on the
100, I think
opening
it's like
weekend?
109, almost 190, 184 or something like
What?
that. That's why it got a
What,
fucking
opening
sequel.
weekend?
No, not
Oh,
opening weekend. Sorry,
oh, okay,
no,
yeah.
no,
I
that
was
was
talking about
overall.
weekend.
Ain't gonna claw back what it's on. I think it's on like 14
Uh,
or something.
30 is on.
30. Oh, okay.
Not too bad, but less,
Phew.
I think. I mean, we'll talk about that in a minute. I mean, where this franchise is heading up. But yeah,
My immediate thoughts as soon as the movie opened, I was thinking, oh, okay, this feels like a sci-fi channel movie with a budget. I didn't mind it. I fucking didn't mind it. I like didn't love it, but it was fucking stupid and full of wacky, cheesy one-liners. But there's a kind of unique style to her. Robots fighting each other, sure. It's got that sort of killer robot vibe. It wasn't awful. So that's kind of my thoughts. I was sat there going, "Oh God, I want to see what how this sort of pans out." There's a bit of like, probably the runtime probably was a bit fucking stupid, but like they could have done it. They could have done this in an hour and a half, hour and 20 or something like that, and it would still been a good. It still would have been all right, but they didn't want to flesh out some of the shit. But robot fights, robots killing humans, AI. This is the sort of movies that we're going to get now, I guess. And I don't think this is all that bad. And Megan as a character and the story itself, it worked. It worked a little bit. What about you? What do you think? It sat in the cinema with just you and some other bloke.
Yeah, and it ended up being some more people as well. I was gutted. I was all on my own at the start, and all the trailers started, and there's no one. And I thought, oh great, I've got a whole place myself. But it's really interesting because this is not a horror film by any means. Now, the first one, you could say it's a horror film. It follows in the footsteps of stuff like
Chucky.
Chucky and things like that. Yeah. So, and it was creepy. I wasn't a massive fan of the first one either, anyway. This one, however, did entertain me and it did keep me entertained for most of the time. I feel like it dropped a bit at the end. I dropped the ball a little bit at the end. It did go on and on a bit. However, there were some really funny bits in this. Um, it, it's lost all of that horror edge, and that's why I want to talk about where it may go in the future.
I mean, okay. It's horror. As we said on the first one, it's sort of horror light anyway. It definitely had like some angles to it. And this one was definitely felt more Lawnmower Man, more on the tech side, maybe on, not as dystopian as say Upgrade, but it's still kind of interesting to kind of think about AI taking over the world in
Oh mate,
this
like
sort of form.
there's so many things in this movie that
But it felt like a spy movie, didn't it?
yeah, I mean, look, there's so many things in this movie that are in reality right now or coming to reality, and it breaches subjects that are on the table right now. I mean, there are so many nods in this film to so many other films. There's like nods to Mission Impossible, like you just said.
James Bond.
There's James Bond, even down to Metropolis,
Yeah.
you know, at the end. It's like there's so many nods to so many different movies. I just think it's just a real. I mean, it's brave because they've just gone batshit and they've gone couldn't give a fuck. Let's just go absolutely mental with this storyline. And it literally the first kind of like 30 minutes, I was actually
Yeah.
really liking it, and then I just think it lost its way a little bit. Um,
We sort of like left after the first one,
yeah,
the family sort of picking up the pieces. She sort of the mum or the auntie is sort of basically not turned her back on tech, but sort of embracing the ever changing tech world and trying to make it better, trying to make it more regulated, trying to, embrace AI, embrace tech, but also put some governance around it, I would say. And then the daughter's sort of dealing with the little girl's dealing with the fallout of that, but she's doing it well. She's doing Krav Maga and all this sort of stuff, and she's kind of quirky and cool. I kind of liked her character. We've lost Megan. We've got this Amelia who's infiltrated. Who's been used as like a spy robot by the FBI. Goes missing. As tech does, and then suddenly we do get Megan coming back into it. She sort of backdoored her programming into the house and is sort of watching. I've been watching them all the time, and you
which
do
I
this,
thought was brilliant.
and you get this kind
Really,
of
really clever.
really endearing story of her sort of trying to kind of like come back to the fold and embrace herself. There's a interesting story.
So the house they live in is like properly like teched out. It's like got, you know, a version of like Alexa, but it's like a little robot, which you can buy those robots in real life, by the way.
They're fucking
It's
great.
crazy. And they're quite expensive, but they're really cool and they talk to you and everything, they have conversations and stuff. But Megan's obviously got herself through the system in the house and through the Wi-Fi or whatever. So she's living in the ether or whatever. And they get descended on, which I love this bit. I thought it was fucking brilliant. And it turns into fucking like the cyber Home Alone, which I thought was brilliant. So these
Yeah,
undercover FBI people are attacking the house because they think that basically the auntie who created Megan is behind this AI infiltration thing, right?
yeah. Which, we kind of that's it's kind of like a whodunit, like a spy, we're gonna get a rug pull at some stage. You do get that sort of element of it. Somebody is like not playing right, and they all sort of play it quite well. Gemma's the auntie,
Yeah.
um, and Katie is the daughter. And there's some other characters in there. The two the two people, Cole and the woman and stuff like that. I can't remember her name. Tess are in there as well, sort of helping out whatever company that they've got left. And she's seeing this Christian. So there's a few like people you could point at, and she's been asked by the FBI to help out to find Amelia, and she's kind of like, fuck you. And then like realizes that Megan's still about, and it's kind of playing with that responsibility. And she's quite quick, I think, to kind of jump on, to let Megan sort of gives her one of those gives her a body to a degree, and they start, and it's like a spy movie where they're just trying to find Amelia the robot, and
Yeah.
the FBI is trying to find them, and they're tracking them, and they're tracking who, you know, and you get the Amelia is played by the lass from one of it's a soccer. She was in a soccer. She's one of
Joker, yeah.
yeah, soccer. So
Shin Hattie.
she's a fembot that's like,
She does good. She
well,
really looks like a robot as well, which is crazy.
yeah,
Which is really weird.
which better than the Megan doll, because the Megan doll looks like a robot. Amelia
Yeah,
looks
it
like,
looks fake, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It doesn't, it's still, it's a bit dodgy CGI, which is not a bad thing. I mean, there's fucking flying robots in there and jumpsuits and all sorts of weird shit. And I mean, there's even a fucking couple of layers as well, you know.
Mm.
And there's some stupid, sad moments that kind of bridge on your heartstring. Like, oh, we got to feel sorry for Megan. Really, she's gonna get a hamstring. We get montages in this movie. You know, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
I did feel that Jermaine Clement was totally misused in this movie. I was expecting a lot more from him. He was basically the tech guy in the wheelchair at the start.
Yeah,
So I thought when he entered, I thought, oh, this is going to be good. He's going to be fucking ad-libbing, which he was. You could tell he was ad-libbing at points, but then he was just wasted, and I was just like, oh, is that it? I was hoping to see more of him. Really, really was, which is a real shame,
he was
really.
funny when
But
he was funny when he was on.
yeah, but I thought there was going to be more, but so be it. But yeah, I mean, it just, and then it just kind of drags on a little bit. I just felt, um,
It really
yeah.
did suffer in the middle, didn't it? It's like some of the crap that they were trying to throw at us, like to get to the fields, to start feeling for Megan, to start to understand the story. They're gonna fucking, but the first one did so well that I do think there's more to offer. And there's a style there and a quirkiness to this character that I think is going to be beloved. I really do. So we're going
Mm,
to get more. I don't see why there wouldn't be. Um,
maybe straight to streaming. Maybe I don't think any more's going to be coming on the cinema, mate.
well, it's 30. It depends what the budget was. 30's not bad
Mm,
for a, whatever the fuck you want to call it, but it's not horror anymore. Like you said, there was
no,
that sort of
that's the problem I got.
ah,
It's like I don't know how they're going to franchise this out. It's just like there's only so much you can do with with the kind of whole AI thing before it starts getting a bit crazy, like too much or too, we'll probably the next one will probably be like Megan in the future or something, Megan in space. It'll go crazy. It'll be like, fucking crazy shit. It'll just go mad. I
There's
just can't, I don't know where it's gonna go.
no, there's nothing groundbreaking really to talk about it. There's some fun bits, some fun scenes with Gemma the aunt in her tech, and there's a
Oh,
bit
there's
where
some real funny bits as well. The bit where
yeah,
Megan starts singing was fucking hilarious. I literally laughed out loud
yeah.
when she started singing. And then the other guy in the cinema that was in there as well, he started laughing as well. That was fucking hilarious. I
Also
love
the
that bit.
through this bit of tech they ended up sharing the same consciousness, and they were sort of like she's really getting into it. And those one-liners and dirty, potty mouthed robot
Yeah.
that she is, I think was sort of really worked for me. And you get it's a fucking Bond movie. You get that evil guy who thinks he's um doing the right thing, but he's a fucking bellend. And you get the robot that gets taken over, and it's just so many tropes that
It's like an action thriller comedy,
yeah,
basically. It's not a horror. The horror element has completely gone.
yeah,
But we didn't know that. I thought there may have been a bit more like maybe some more like head rips or something like I don't know. I don't know what's the
yeah, like
there's a lovely nod to Chucky at the end though, where if you notice like obviously Megan's like been absolutely beaten the shit out of and she literally looked like Chucky with the scar and everything.
the jaw
It was
hanging off and
crazy.
everything. Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you mean. Um, so yeah, horror is in the technology taking over, but if they want to do this, they're obviously aiming at a younger crowd. We could, I'd like to see something like this, but just robots ripping heads off and stuff like that. But then, this is like follow because again, it follows that whole Terminator 2 trope as well.
A
You know,
little bit, yeah.
kind
Definitely
of
nods
like
to it, yeah.
Arnie comes back and is now the good guy, effectively helping him. It's kind of what Megan's doing.
I really thought they were going to go at the end where they'd have to kill Megan and she was just going to be put in lava or something. I literally thought that if they go down that route, I'm just going to be like, yeah, thumb up at the end, like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah. No, I was like, "Ugh." Look, it was entertaining to a degree. It like you're right, it could have been at least half an hour shorter because it did drag a little bit, but there were some quite cool fight scenes. I'll give it that. There were some good fight scenes. And there was some great little one-liners. So all around, it's not that bad.
Jason Statham in a skirt, right?
I don't know about
We
that.
watched The Beekeeper, so so why
Someone's
not?
got it.
Fucking hell. Okay, so there's Megan 2.0
Hmm.
discussed. Not going to be in the horror top 10.
What's the breaths on this then, mate? What's the breaths?
Oh, I mean, I gave it a 6, man, and I stand by that. I had fun with it. It's not horror, but I had fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably go a 5 middle of the road, which I think's fair.
All right,
Um, but I wouldn't go any higher than that. I mean, just because it's like you said, there's not much horror element. It was funny, it was entertaining, way too long. But yeah, I mean, hats off to him. The brave for doing it. Fair play to him.
fair play. Well done. Okay, we wait till the next installment.
Megan in space.
Megan in space. Okay,
Megan goes back to the future.
Megan Christmas Vacation.
Oh, Megan Christmas film.
Can see
That
it.
could work. That could work.
Can see it. There's some stuff here, but like Chucky, it could just keep going on.
Or they'll just do Megan versus. So it would be like Megan versus
Chucky,
or someone else, like Megan versus I
Robert.
don't know. Robert. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'll
some
see.
some voodoo shit. Fucking hell. There we go. She get a body.
Well, shall we move on to the elephant in the room, or should I say shark in the room? The movie from the vault.
There is a creature alive today who has survived millions of years of evolution without change, without passion, and without logic. It lives to kill. A mindless eating machine. It will attack and devour anything. It is as if God created the devil and gave him jaws. This is Universal's extraordinary motion picture version of Peter Benchley's best-selling novel, Jaws.
I just found out that a girl got killed here last week, and you knew it. You knew there was a shark out there. You knew it was dangerous, but you let people go swimming anyway. Did you see that?
It's all psychological. You yell barracuda. Everybody says, huh? What? You yell shark. We've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
Is it true that most people get attacked by sharks in 3 feet of water, about 10 feet from the beach?
Yeah. What we are dealing with here is a perfect engine, an eating machine.
We're not only going to have to close the beach, we're going to have to hire somebody to kill the shark.
Bad fish. But I'll catch him and kill him.
Did you hear your father? Out of the water now!
This shark, swallow you whole. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
That's a 20-footer.
25. 3 tons on him.
Hurry up, he's coming straight for us. Don't screw it up now. Don't wait for me. Now! Shoot! What's he tell you? Give him room! I can't! He's trying to run! Oh! Come quick! I can't hold it! Hurry! Break it up! Brody! Everybody out of the water!
None of man's fantasies of evil can compare with the reality of Jaws. Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, Jaws. See it before you go swimming.
From 1975, we are looking at Jaws. I'm going to read the synopsis from IMDb, like a robot. When a massive killer shark unleashes chaos on a beach community off Long Island, it's up to the local police chief, a marine biologist, and an old seafarer to hunt the beast down. That is a great synopsis. That is what we're doing. We've got Brody, played by Roy Schneider. We've got Hooper, played by Richard Dreyfuss. And we've got Quint, played by the fucking phenomenal Rob Shaw. Along with a few others as well, Lorraine Gray, and Steven Spielberg, blah 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 blah. This is the best, the first summer blockbuster from June 1975. It turns 50 this year. Matt, can you tell me or remember when you first watched this movie?
It would have definitely been on VHS, probably rented, I'd imagine. I watched it way, 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 way too young. And there's no chance I would have watched it like when I was old enough. And I just remember it absolutely scaring the fucking shit out of me. Literally to the point, and this is God's honest truth. I had to go for a bath afterwards. I was scared to have a bath. I'm not joking.
Fair.
Absolutely not joking. I shouldn't have seen these things because I'd never seen anything like it in my life, you know. But it stuck in my mind forever. um, and it stayed with me forever. And it's one of those movies where I revisit at least once a year. Um, yeah. What about yourself?
Well, I had a conversation with my mum around this one. We were definitely, it's possible that we either rented or it was on TV. You
It
know,
was
it's
on TV a lot, wasn't
probably
it? A
on
lot.
TV. And it was, one of those things. My mum loved this movie. My gran loved this movie. She had the LP. We used to listen to the LP, and the motion soundtrack and stuff like that all the time when I used to go to my gran's. I was obsessed by that. So obviously they just let us watch it because it was like, that we had that obsession. But I know that we watched it in the old house. It was all three of us, all the whole family probably sat down and watched this one in our living room, and I was just hiding behind. I remember just like there was definitely moments where I was hiding behind the sofa watching this one. But the aftermath of it was this unbelievable obsession of like recreating moments with video cameras and all sorts of stuff, like just playing the game. I mean, I had loads. It must be on TV because there's loads of the kids in our sort of cul-de-sac, and we just relived the Quint moment and all this sorts of stuff. I was obsessed with this one, big
I
time.
mean, it's so crazy because even like when you went swimming in it, if you went swimming with your dad or something, or your kind of siblings, every time anybody in the pool would go there and even if you like if you didn't know, you know. Do you know what I mean? It's just like that's the game. Your dad would,
Agree.
pretend to have the shark fin and chase you and go "Rah!" and eat you up and stuff. And if you didn't know, then fucking where are you? What are you?
I've got an old VHS somewhere, like of like old family video,
Yeah,
proper 80s. So we're talking like this horrible young squeaky voice person, where I must have been probably about
some things never change.
7 or 8 in my grand's garden, where I'm literally chasing my sister around the garden, going dun and dun and dun. We're doing it. I've
Awesome.
got that video somewhere. It's hilarious.
You got to dig that out.
I
You
will
got
dig
to
it
dig that
out.
out.
I spoke to my mum as well, and I asked her when she saw it.
Mm.
In America, obviously, it came out in June 1975, but it didn't come over to the UK until like 6 months later.
Hmm.
So in January 1976, she went to see it with her friend Maureen, and she remembers getting the bus home and just like it was in the dark, or she had to like leave her friend, and she was, scared shitless.
But
That
like in the 70s at that time, it must have been shocking to watch something because you ain't seen anything like it before. It's a one of its kind, like it's just like a phenomenon. It's just like it was made and it was just like no one had done anything like it before. Anyway, we digress. We've got to get into this.
I mean, how do we
Have to get
discuss this one?
where do we start? Where do we start?
I mean, I've watched this a fucking buttload of
Should
times.
we let's start with obviously we meet Chief Brody. Well, no, actually, no, let's not start with Brody. Let's start with the opening scene. What the fuck? Like literally straight into the fucking storyline, balls deep, no fucking around, no
Woman.
shitty dialogue or fanny deep, yeah. Literally straight in on the beach. Girl goes for a swim. Bloke's comatose on the beach because he's had a bit too much to drink, and
Let's
they've
not forget
gone
that she was
skinny
she was
dipping.
she was not a local.
Nope.
He right. They didn't know each other. If they were going to be doing something, that's the classic 70s. She goes out. They were going to do some skinny dipping. She just goes out for a swim. She's fully nuddy. There's some really interesting angles that they've taken of that. But the first thing we see, pretty much the first 5 minutes, is this, and that scream is terrifying.
Yep.
It's terrifying. It's horrific watching someone being pulled under when you can't see what is happening. And even when she goes back to the boy, you think she's safe. Nope. It
Yeah, and
is,
it's also the words she says, oh God, help me, God, help. It's like fucking harrowing. It's just like, and the
but it,
unknown. It's the
yes,
unknown.
and there's kind of a beauty to it because that's the way it's shot and the
Mm.
way that it's sort of the strings and all the music, they're playing around with it. It's beautiful, and I think one of the best things about this movie is like the the things you don't see. And and like the way this was going to be shot, um with the they had problems with the shark. We know this because there's a fucking theater production about it at the moment. Um if there if that those problems hadn't happened and they were able to shoot the shark more, it wouldn't be the same movie, I think, because it's got to
No.
be the things you don't see that make it more terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do move on to this amazing island, Amity Island, with a greedy mayor, some patrons who just want to earn their
Greedy
holiday
people that
bucks.
live there, yeah.
Because
Give me all
immediately,
that money.
yeah, but Brody's just this. He's come from New York. He's a New York cop. He's moved the family out there. He doesn't like the water,
Yeah.
and he's just there to be their new police chief. And he's sort of like doing everything by the book, doing it, but he's in his own little way. And it's like these people are just like that mob around him at the start when he goes onto um
Barge.
the car but
The ferry. The ferry.
the fair car ferry, and they're
Yeah.
like, you can't close the thing. He's like, what?
Well, the funniest thing is like that scene is like straight out of a fucking mob movie. They like roll the car on, they all get out like mobsters, and the funniest bit is the coroner puts his leg up on the side and leans on his leg like he's a fucking gangster.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking they're gonna fucking beat the shit out of him or something. It's like, and then they're like, yeah, you're not showing the beaches. And it's like, what the fuck?
Are you willing to sign
Yeah,
off on that?
we own this island. You don't own this island, bitch. You're gonna do what we say.
Yeah.
And
And you,
I mean, I love Brody. I love Chief Brody, but he's a bit fucking naive, isn't he? Because obviously,
he's
we
naive. That's the beauty thing about it. And he's sort of not. He's not. But because he has got this complete naivety, but he's got this ability to learn, which I
yeah,
love about him, and that's his growth in his character throughout is so interesting to watch.
yeah, 100%.
He is the sort of constant, you know.
Yeah,
He's that conscience of it all, of the,
yeah.
and
Well,
when you get,
you're really just following him, aren't you? At the start,
yeah,
it's about him and and also his vulnerability is just like the way the coroner says, "Oh yeah, it was a propeller," and it was like it's just and he's like, "Oh really? Oh okay," and it's like, "Fuck man, you know that's a shark attack. Don't listen to these bozos."
yeah. But we get this brilliant movie where, you know, we get the pacing is so good with this that the next thing that's sort of happening is they're on the beach and everyone's enjoying the sun. It's not We're not July. They're heading towards July 4th, heading towards the summer, and you've got the locals there, and you got Pippin the dog, and you've got this little kid on a lilo. You've got these great little moments and camera shots in the something fucked up's going to happen, but you don't know where or who it's going to happen to.
Again,
Um,
it's like genius filmmaking. It's just like, you know, it's the build up, and in the back of your head, shit's about to go down because the way they've just come up to that part is just like, right, now we're gonna load the beach up. No one gives a shit. Like it's okay. You can tell that Brody's still kind of got it on his mind,
yeah.
obviously. And then you know as a viewer, it's about to go down.
Now
100%. It's just when.
we lose the dog. Obviously, we must have lost the dog. I don't understand how we lost the dog.
Off screen kill. Did he get eaten or did he drown or did he just fuck off?
Exactly, we don't know.
That's what I want to know.
You get
Pippin the
this
dog. Have you seen him? There is a reward.
phenomenal scene where the sound sort of gets sucked in from the movie because you don't really get, and it's like, and it's in the background. That's what I loved about that first kill with the boy because it is. I suppose you don't really want to go right into the lad probably getting mauled, but it's in the background, and you can you are there on the beach with everyone else watching this. I can imagine myself being on the beach and just being like, what?
And it looks so fucking real because the way they did the shark and it kind of like where it would grab it and then turn as it goes
Mm.
down and you just see him fucking chomp down. And for one of the first kind of kills that you see is like, it's a child, man. it's like is a fucking child. And that's what probably shocked me even more, that I didn't expect that when I was a kid, that I was just a kid on you're not used to seeing kids get fucking killed in movies like that visceral.
Yeah.
And then obviously we get that absolutely famous tracking dolly shot up to Brody's face, which is just fucking genius. Absolute
With
genius.
with that score,
Yeah.
everything just works, and you're just like, that moment is like, oh fuck, this is like, I've
It's
seen it.
kicking off.
I've seen it. I'm like, he's seen it with his eyes, and that's it. He's transfixed now for the rest. He needs to fucking kill the shark, and he's like, um, yeah. There's the town meeting. The town meeting's great. It's another sort of gangster moment, really, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. That town meeting is insane. Yeah, again, it's just like we get this. Obviously, the town meetings all come up together to figure out what the fuck to do. The mayor is still hell bent. We don't need to shut the beaches. We don't need to shut the beaches. But he's come to the point where he's like, right, we got to get this fucking killed, innit? And this is where the introduction, like, to Quint comes, which is again like the casting to get Robert Shaw is just genius. It's just like he fits that character so fucking well,
This
so
is
well.
on the same level as this is Alec Guinness in Star Wars. This is like a classically trained actor in a sort of like
Okay,
faux
better than that. He's
horror
better. He's better than that.
But he's genius. He just brings this fucking Shakespearean seriousness to the whole thing, where you've got these guys and stuff like that, where he's like, you know me, you know what I do. Every fucking line that comes out, it's so good, and it's done it in the fucking brilliantness of the play. It plays in my mind as well after watching the play and watching this and watching the parallels between like Dreyfus's character and like Quint and like Shaw's character, and how they are just polar opposites, and how much polar opposites they were when filming as well. Like you got this Hollywood guy and then you got this classically trained guy. It's fucking hilarious.
Well,
And
yeah, you got the new kid on the block. This was his second film or
yeah,
something, Dreyfus. So
but
yeah,
when they are introduced, it's like you can feel it. You can feel the animosity.
100%, 100%.
And that's why the boat ride is so important, because they do become, I would say, as close to Quint having mates. They do kind of come to pals in the end. We'll talk about that more later, but
Yeah,
because we
you're
haven't.
skipping way
Oh no,
ahead, mate.
I know, I
Calm
know.
down, calm down.
All right, past the I'll catch him for free, but I'll kill him for 10. Some great lines there, and there's some. The next bit is like obviously the money, and it's like all the boats, getting the marine biologist, getting Hooper in.
But this is the funniest bit. It's kind of there's some real comedy moments in the movie, which are real subtle, like comedy moments. Like just really quickly, like there's a scene with Brody and his wife where the kid's got a new boat for his birthday, and they're just arguing. He's like, "Get him off the water! Get him off! Get out of the boat! Get out of the boat!" And he's looking at that book, and then the wife suddenly just decides to goes, "Get him out of the boat! Get him out of the
Yeah,
boat!"
because she flicks through the book, doesn't she,
Yeah.
as well? She sees that one pitch of like, what the
She's
fuck?
like, "Get out of the boat!" It's great. But yeah, going back to obviously all the kind of non-locals that come because they've heard that there's the reward for the shark, which is again is genius because you think, what, how are they gonna carry on with this bit? What are they gonna do with the whole bit? Like now they've got all these people, bumbling idiots on little boats and all this stuff. And this is where obviously we're introduced to Hooper.
Hooper comes on and is like just in double denim.
Yeah.
And he is sort of that. He is immediately he's different to every single person there. He's set himself apart. He's got a different to his accent, to his being. He's a nerd. He's sort of nerdy. He's smaller. Everything about him is just completely different to every single person on there. he does feel like the rich kid, maybe. He's got the gadgets.
I don't know. I think, yeah, he's obviously well educated.
Yeah.
He's got a bit about him. He can organize a bit better because obviously, as soon as he gets on there, he's like telling people what to do and stuff.
Yeah. He's
And it's like,
full of confidence. Doesn't give a
yeah,
fuck.
yeah. And obviously, yeah, and that's when Brody and him meet, and immediately, obviously, they kind of they're already bonding because
Yeah.
they've spoke and stuff like that. They're just really quickly, I've got to raise because we cannot not talk about fucking Officer Hendricks and how fucking shit he is.
Oh, we know we have to talk that because obviously, what's his name? The what if stories and stuff like that follows
Yeah,
Hendrix, and he's there, but he is a fucking muppet. So these are your people. Go and he's just there, but he's
it's
like,
like but it's like he's useless. It's like the bit where like Brody throws the stones at the window and he's like, hiya, waving through the window. It's like, no, get the fuck in. It's like, and then I think there's another scene where like somebody's painted over the sign, and they've put a shark fin on the big sign.
oh yeah,
And literally, if you look in the background, I never noticed it till this time I watched it. Like Hendrix is up there like nearly falling off,
the
like in the
ladder.
background, trying to like paint it, and he's fucking bumbling like an idiot. He can't even get up there to do it. It's fucking hilarious. So funny.
Yeah, there's some great things, and then like obviously that the Hooper Brody story is just fantastic. Like there's some lovely little moments, like them going to the coroner and him doing his own autopsy and stuff like that, and
Scene is fucking awesome.
you can feel it. Like you
Mhm.
can feel the intensity, and it's like he knows that it's no boating accident, and it's like
And
the
this ain't no small shark either,
no.
as we find out.
Well, and it's that, and there's the fact that they catch a tiger shark, and there's the bite radius, the whole thing. They're taking the mick um, out of the guy, and it's like the mayor's not hearing it. He's seen a shark that's dead, and he's like, "We're opening the fucking, we're opening. Don't care what he's doing." And we get that lush opening Fourth of July music. When they're coming on the ferry. I think that music is fucking brilliant. It's just so upbeat compared to everything else.
Yeah.
But still, no one's going in to the water. But I think I'm not sure if we skipped ahead of the bit with him coming around for tea. I think that might have happened after the shark in the pond. Yeah, I think that might because this next bit we get kill number three coming up, right?
hmm
On screen kill. Um,
It's fucking the mayor in this bit fucking cracks me up when he just walks up to that family. He's like, "Go for a swim." No, you're going for a swim, mate.
again, he's a fucking gangster mayor.
No, nobody's in the water. So he's like, "You need to get in there because as soon as you get in there, every other fucker's gonna be all right with getting in there."
The cinematography in this bit is just chaos. It's like they've got some proper weird editing going on. It's showing the joy of swimming. It's showing different. It's almost like this one's from the view almost of the shark, not of It's almost as if you were like another person within the water, maybe that they were
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
do.
yeah.
And
Totally.
you get some tomfoolery. You get the kids, and you get them. The most like in a zombie movie. The scariest thing of is people. The stampede, the rush, them trampling on people,
Yeah.
the panic, and then it really happens. This bit is so. This bit is really creepy. The shark entering the pond is so serene, and it's something almost like out of like National Geographic. It's like it's so factual. It's just a shark that's just swimming. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's not in the right way, but it just felt completely different. Even when it left as well,
Mhm.
out the same way. It comes in, eats the dudes, eats the dude on the boat,
In his tiny little red boat.
tiny little red boat, and then fucks off. And it just
However, we forgot to mention that Brody's kids also in that pond.
yeah,
He's like, go and play in the pond, it'll be safer. Nowhere's fucking safe with this dude around.
no. Which you got
Fucking
to
hell.
understand. I got to really understand how big the shark. We know how big the shark is, and it can still kind of go into shallower waters,
Mm.
which is
I mean,
quite
they
interesting.
mentioned, didn't they? Like most attacks, most shark attacks happen in shallow waters, which is the
Mm.
craziest thing. Like within like I don't know 30 meters of shore,
Yeah,
which is mad.
it is mad.
Um, yeah, but that bit is crazy. So we get the old chomp chomp leg just floating down the old torso, the 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 fucking leg just floating down, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
And then we get Brody's turn to be gangster in the hospital.
he's just had enough at this point, and he's fucking on the edge.
Did
Now
we?
it's fucking big time personal as well.
Yeah, and he just murmured, I was doing the right best thing. Yeah, he's lost it. The mayor's lost it. We're never going to see the mayor again. He's fucking lost his head.
Until Jaws
Um,
2.
yeah, wow. But do we forget about they do go out at some point in between all this, they do go out on the boat as well, him and Hooper, and like find you know, Ben Gardner's boat with
That's
the
crazy because there's it's a night shot, isn't it? It's all shot at night, and yeah, that is fucking crazy. Because when Hooper goes down, that bit where they find with the head, fucking, we went and watched that, didn't we? Remember, we went and watched it at a outside swimming pool, didn't we?
yeah,
On the big
the
screen.
Lido.
And we had the phone, and you had headphones on. Everybody had headphones, obviously, with the sound, because it was, but it was awesome. And that bit, fucking, I shit myself.
Everyone jumped.
It's so loud.
Yeah, that's a
Can you
jumping,
imagine that in 1975 in the cinema?
a
Fuck, I
decapitated
bet
head
it,
just
like,
floating into a pit.
screamed.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and it's murky, and you think, oh fuck, the shark's just there. You think he's going to get eaten any minute.
And the
That's
music as well, because it just goes, as soon as you see it, it's like,
yeah,
fucking,
and you get the gurgle. Yeah, it's so cool. Um, yeah, there's some great, obviously the mimic. There's some lovely scenes that everyone talks about. Again, it makes it such a wholesome, full family movie. Is the fact that you've got these moments with the kids as well.
mm,
You know, like the kids, you know, mimicking Brody, you know, and all that sort of stuff. It's just it begins to have it doesn't feel like filler. It feels important.
yeah,
Even the
big time. And
go on.
even like I said before, like it's personal now. So this shark is fucking literally nearly eating one of his children. So now he's obviously feels really bad as well because we haven't even talked. I mean, we're going to jump back a little bit as well. We haven't even talked about the little kid, Billy Kilner or whatever his name is, and his mum basically walking up to Brody and giving him a massive slap round the face. So obviously, you know, if he had shut the beaches when they found out it was actually a shark attack, he probably would still be alive. So it is, and that bit is insane. And all those little bits of now leading up to it's got fucking personal.
Hmm.
It's all on Brody, and Brody feels everything on his shoulders. All these deaths now he feels are on his shoulders, and now to add into the mix, the shark's gone after his family. So yeah, it's now time to bring the big guns in, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, the big guns. So the best lads movie ever, I
Mm.
suppose. A lads adventure movie. Three guys stepping out onto a boat, and we just get some of the most memorable moments in film history. You know, this is just absolutely what everyone probably remembers about this movie is these three guys just personalities just bouncing off each other. Um, so certainly some of the best lines in any movie, you know, gonna need a bigger boat. That moment is just it hits you in the feels, man. Every time. Every time you're like, yes, yes, you fucking do. But even to the degree of them sort of like him trying to get Hooper to go on the boat with Quint, like Quint convincing Quint is like to like take Hooper,
Mm.
trying to get him to do a fucking sheep shank or whatever it is, fucking knotting and teaching him basic, you know, really trying to get him to know like it's just you get to their personalities are imprinted right there and then.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, even to the point where Hooper gets on the boat and he's loading all his technical stuff and he brings that cage on. He's like, what you got a cage for? And he's like, well, I'm going to get in it and I can get down here with the shark. And then and then Quint starts singing that song about basically
Yeah.
you're going to die in a song, in like a sea shanty.
Yeah.
It's just like, fuck you, you dickhead, you're going to die. See you later. It's brilliant.
Oh, but this whole
Love it.
the boat's phenomenal looking. Like its own.
Character.
It is really is. It is its own character. And it's such a cool set because there's so many places that you can be on this boat.
And
And
it's not even that big either.
no, like
They've used it so well. They've used every inch of this boat.
every inch to like chum, doing the chum line, to the bit where, we're not seeing this fucking shark, and then suddenly like Brody's the first one to see it. And there's so much banter going on like in between, of like, he's got Hooper driving the boat, and then suddenly the fucking shark comes on. Everything, the mood changes,
Hmm.
you know.
Even down to like, you know, making fishing really cool, like and interesting. Like when Quint is putting all this like his his bout on and his rod and he's doing all the bits and even all those bits are really cool. It's just like and the way the rod's going so fast and he's pouring water on the rod, it's just like everything's really interesting, and I find it really interesting about all the kind of tech as well that they've got, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, but
because I was like, how the hell do you catch a fucking shark in the first place?
well,
Do you know what I mean?
I did, because even I've watched this loads of times. I'm still thinking like he's got a fishing line, and he's what?
Yeah,
He's planning to fish the shark, and then what? He's going to yank it up, and then
yeah.
he doesn't realize it's 20 tons or however much they said, and it's like what? You got this bit of kit, and all he's got is himself, like a little foot paddle and a
And a
fucking rig.
hook,
It's like,
hook and a spike.
but learning about all the stuff with the
Oh, don't forget a
barrel,
machete as well. It's got
yeah,
machete.
learning the stuff with the barrels,
Yeah,
you know.
that was so cool. It's just like just the way it's just like right, what we've got to do, we've got to get these fucking yellow barrels and we've got to harpoon it so we can basically put these barrels on him so he cannot submerge and he has to come back up. And you think, well, one will probably be all right. No, maybe we go for two. Still fucking dragging him down.
But the barrels play then such a significant part because
Yeah.
when you see the barrels, the shark's around.
That's the beauty of it. It's just so clever because you're like, how are you going to make this film like captivating? How are you going to know where the shark is? You can't just have a film of like, oh, there's a fin, there's a fin, there's a bit of the nose there. You've got to have something visual. And this is where this is so clever because you know now where the fucker is. So that makes it even more interesting because he's like, he's there, he's here. No, he's gone back down underneath. Now he's under the boat. Now he's there and everywhere. It's just fucking so clever. That whole idea of that whole bit is so fucking clever.
And the
So clever.
animosity that they're shown in that first initial point till we get that night on the boat
Mm.
where stories get told, drink gets flowing, they're fucking tired. They've been unsuccessfully chasing the shark, and then this is like, get your dick out moment. This is my
Yeah.
scar, is that? But it's not. It's not. It's like they become mates in this scene,
Yeah. Yeah.
and one of the best monologues that's probably ever been told on screen, the USS Indianapolis.
Yeah. It's again, it's so clever because it's like initially you're like, oh, they're on this boat and he's just a fucking bit of a weird sailor old sea dog. He's a bit fucking eccentric. He's a little bit mental. He's just like and he's a drunk and he's like whatever, blah blah blah. But then this whole story puts even more of a backstory behind him, and then the amount of admiration and respect, and then you clicks in your head. Now you know why he's so hell bent, and now you know why he's fucking killed so many fucking sharks. Like, that now he's, yeah, and it just makes you like him even more, you know. And yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. It builds that respect and that characters between the three of them even more.
But
Like
it
makes them
fleshes
more
out it's like when you're talking about like building character and stuff like that, and you've got the journey of Brody. When you learn about this fucking moment, it's sold in this extraordinary way, in an extraordinary moment. You're like, fuck, it just works. You've got this backstory just there, sitting there through this fucking amazing monologue, and the boat, and then obviously the shark at night, the singing, you know, oh, very free Spanish lady. And then like, show me the way to go home, boom, boom, and it's that moment into the shark starting to bang onto the side of the boat. It all just work starts. It's like you're on this journey with them, and suddenly, whoosh, you're brought back down to earth of what they're doing.
Yeah, that's the clever. It's so clever that bit. It's just like you're right. It's like oh, they're all chatting, they're getting on, and then bang, you're straight back down to reality. It's like oh fuck, we still got to
And they're
kill
kind
this
of pissed.
fucking
So he's got this is where the
bastard.
moment where Quint gets his rifle out as well.
Yeah,
That's taking pot shots.
yeah,
It's like what the fuck. But yeah, I mean, after then you get when Quint decides that his way's not working. You know, the
mm,
barrels aren't working. He's just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. He does turn, and they're going down as well. They're sinking. There's a great moment in this. I don't know if like as well when Hooper and Quint are trying to fix the boat, and it's like, well, that's exactly what happened to the Millennium Falcon in Star Wars. There's
yeah,
that exact moment, where they're like fixing the ship. I love that parallel. I think like that, but knowing that obviously him and George are friends and stuff, I think those little nods are just like fucking. It's just great storytelling. Um, but when he realizes he's not going to do this on his own, and he goes, let's have a look at your fucking what will you do with this
what you got
cage?
in your bag of tricks? Yeah, what you got? What can we do?
Yeah,
Because this fucker's big, and now we've got to work together.
yeah,
My ancient ways have worked in the past, but they ain't gonna fucking work on this thing. Because like, yeah, we got to work fast.
yeah. And that scene interlinked with like real footage of a great white on top of a real shark cage does
Yeah,
really work because they don't have much footage to go on with the fucking shark. But what they do get, it's exactly what they think. You stuck a shark cage in the water, and what happens? The big fucking shark gets in the cage.
yeah, insane.
It's a moment. It is a moment, and like what this bit kind of always like confuses me because you've got the visual of the boat, you've got the shark thrashing around on top of it, of real footage. You don't really then. There's some other questionable bits. It's like how the fuck do they even pull the thing up? Just fucking something. But the pace of this thing just spirals so quick because you think they're just looking at this thing and the boat's sinking. And next thing you know, the sharks just dove over the side.
He
It's
ain't
like,
taking no prisoners. He's like, I've had enough, mate. You guys are pissing me off. It's just like fucking decks onto the fucking boat. Takes pretty much half the end of the boat off. It's just crazy. It's just mayhem, isn't it? It's just like, what the fuck do you do when that happens?
yeah, to like Quint screaming for his life, and the air thing crushing his hand, and him having to reach out to Brody, and then just sliding down the deck with his machete.
Yeah, Brody didn't really try hard enough, did he?
I feel like he didn't.
Let him, let him slip a bit too easy, I thought.
But
Straight into the mouth.
one thing I did notice more and more in this one, obviously the bit is just savage with Quint going that
Oh,
way,
mate,
the
it's
way he goes.
visceral, isn't it? Visceral.
But he's obviously had enough of Quentin. He comes back straight into after Brody through the window, um,
Oh, yeah.
straight away.
But that
Where,
bit with Quint, though, man, I forgot how much blood there was as well.
yeah,
Because he's going for it. He's fucking macheting the fuck out of his head as well.
he's got it
Yeah,
stuck in.
yeah, he stuck it in his head. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, there ain't no there ain't no saving grace for Quint, is there?
No, unfortunately not.
God
But
rest his soul.
Brody has to sort of, he hasn't got any tricks. It's just him. He don't know what the fuck to do. Grabs a fucking rifle, he's chucked the tank in there, and he's thinking, fuck, I guess I could ping a shot at that, maybe.
Little thing on that, real quick. Ruin one of my Matt's facts. But if you look further back into the film when he's looking to that in that book, there is actually a picture in that book with a shark with a tank in its mouth. So you think,
Nice.
did he get the idea because he read that book?
Interesting. I like that. But he does
Mm.
kind of I've noticed a lot more like dialogue that he actually sort of the way
He's
he's talking.
actually a clever dick.
Yeah, he's talking to himself. So that's yeah. I mean, mate, this whole fucking from like this incredible family orientated movie t- on the island to this amazing bromance chasing a shark. It's just so cool. And I've got to ask about the what have we got in the way of, what extra can you bring to this? What facts have you let us know on?
Wow.
You got a list?
I've got quite a few. I didn't want to go. I narrowed it down to a few of my favorites because I didn't want to like go on and on. But you know, I'll try and make it as interesting as possible. So, several decades after the film's release, Lee Farrow, Mrs. Kintner, walked into a seafood restaurant and noticed an Alex Kintner sandwich on the menu. She commented that she had played his mother many years ago. Jeffrey Voorhees, the manager of the restaurant, who had played Alex, ran out to meet her, and they hadn't seen each other since the original movie shoot. How
Wow.
fucking weird is that? Crazy. Wait, some of these facts you're probably going to know because you're a massive fan. Geordie Paul probably screaming at the screen as well. I know that. I knew that. But when composer John Williams originally played the score for director Steven Spielberg, Spielberg laughed and said, "That's funny, John. Really. But what did you really have in mind for the theme of Jaws?" Question mark. Um, Spielberg later stated that without Williams' score, the movie would have only been half as successful, and according to Williams, it jump-started his career.
I mean, he's right because that's John Williams' score is just fucking. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's just that's half the film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Over 67 million people in the US went to see this film when it was initially released in 1975.
Wow.
Just under a third of the country's total population at the time.
Yeah, right. So
Making it the first summer blockbuster.
Spielberg hadn't done anything. This is his what second movie or something like that?
Yeah, he hadn't done much. Through respected as an actor, Robert Shaw's trouble with alcohol was frequent source of tension during filming. In later interviews, Roy Scheider described as his co-star as a perfect gentleman whenever he was sober. All he needed was one drink, and then he turned into a competitive son of a bitch. According to Carl Gottlieb's book, The Jaws Log, Shaw was having a drink between takes and announced, "I wish I could quit drinking." To the surprise and horror of the crew, Richard Dreyfuss grabbed Shaw's glass and tossed it into the ocean. Much to Shaw's charging, Shaw allegedly bullied Dreyfuss for the rest of the shoot, offering him $1,000 to climb up the 70-foot mast and jump into the ocean, calling Dreyfuss a coward whenever he refused. On one day, Shaw sprayed him with a fire hose, causing the enraged Dreyfuss to storm off, saying, "That's it. I don't want to work with you anymore. Go fuck yourself." When it came to the shoot at the famous USS Indianapolis scene, Shaw attempted to do the monologue while intoxicated, as it called for the men to be drinking late night. Nothing in the take could be used. A remorseful Shaw called Spielberg late that night and asked if he could do another try. The next day of shooting, Shaw's electrifying performance was done in one fucking take.
And this is all in the play as well.
Is it? Oh, okay, yeah.
Tells so well in
Also
the
in the
play.
documentary they talk about it, but originally Steven Spielberg was not the director of Jaws in 1975. The first director, Dick Richards, was fired after meeting the producers and studio executives. In the meeting, he said that in the opening shot, he would have the camera come out of the water to show the town. Then the whale, instead of the shark, would come out of the water. The producers said that they were not making Moby Dick and they would not work with someone who did not know the difference between a whale and a shark. During the scene when Quint, Hooper, and Brody are loading up the Orca, a small grey shack with a red door can be seen to the left of Quint's place. It belonged to an actual resident who first was ticked off with the production because mist from the spray paint used on Quint's facade, wound up floating into his boats. When he discovered what was really going on and how naive the crew was about fishing and boating, he offered to assist them in their production. His equipment and expertise became so useful to have them that without him, the film might never have been completed. He even became the role model for that Robert Shaw chose for his gruff fisherman character. And though he was well paid for the services, Lynn Murphy never received the credit on or off screen for the essential part he played in the making of the classic. Pretty crazy. Roy Schreider stated in the interview that in the scene with Lee Ferrero, Mrs. Kittner smacks him in the face, she was actually hitting him. Apparently, the actress could not fake slap and had to go and did 17 takes. And the most painful one of his acting career was used. Also, she stated in several interviews that one of the takes she slapped him so hard his glasses fell off. His boat is named Orca, being a shark hunter by profession. Quint knows that orcas, traditionally known as killer whales, are the only predator of the great white. Okay, so only a couple more and I'm done, I promise. The blowing up of the shark was scheduled for the last day of shoot. 4 cameras were trained on it. Steven Spielberg, however, was not there. He decided that before the crew did any kind of wild prank on him to mark the end of the principal photography, he would just leave quietly. He and Richard Dreyfuss were on a plane to Boston when the actor turned to him and asked him, "How did the final shot go?" When Spielberg answered smiling, "They're shooting it now," Dreyfuss began laughing hysterically. Through his affair with Brody, sorry, though his affair with Brody's wife was actually left out of the film, Hooper's death was actually in the script. The plan was to have a dummy representing Hooper placed in a cage underwater, and Australian filmmakers Rod and Valerie Taylor, who were filming the underwater shark scenes in Australia, would entice an actual shark to attack the cage and tear the dummy apart. They could never provoke the shark properly. Ultimately, the shark did attack and destroy the cage, but there was one problem. The Hooper dummy wasn't inside at the time. As this was the best footage they had, Steven Spielberg decided to use it and allow Hooper to escape the shark, which I
Wow.
think's a good, a
Yes.
good, a good shout, really. I think personally, and the kill count is. I haven't got a dog on here because we don't know.
We don't know.
So I got 6. That's including the shark.
Yeah. Awesome.
1 woman, 1 boy, 3 men, and 1 shark.
Nice.
Yes.
Based on Peter Benchley's book, Jaws.
Who is actually in the film. He's the reporter on the beach. Forgot that one.
Oh, okay, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
so he's the news reporter on the beach.
He actually become, I think, like an ocean, like a marine specialist or something like that, because he
Oh,
wrote
right.
books in the Beat called The Beast as well, and some other books as well,
Yes.
all around that.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember them having all of them. My mum had them all on the shelf when we were young. It's very interesting, very, very cool. Yeah, this movie's incredible. My favorite movie of all time. I've got some other stuff like, in the way of merch, I've got like a Hot Wheels car.
That's cool. Bro,
Got
that's
the
Brody's.
Brody's car. Yeah, I got I got the one of the shark pops.
Yeah.
And I've got the 3 guys in there as well. I've got an old VHS, not an X rental, but I got an old VHS. I got a mobile phone charger.
You got the Lego.
I got the Lego. Yes, I do. It was fucking cool. And a Universal Studios glass.
Ooh.
My sister bought that from Universal Studios, and then a magnet on the fridge, which is pretty cool. Got a few little bits.
Universal just released a really cool kind of like bottle, and it's like the canister with the shark. It's fucking brilliant.
And
Wish I could have one of those.
what I really
Cool.
want is the fucking pinball machine.
Pinball machine, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Spare
fucking
10
epic.
grand laying around is yours.
Oh, mate, that'd be amazing. But yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 movie.
Right, it's literally
It's not even a
one of
10.
the
It's like,
greatest movies ever made, isn't it?
yeah.
Come on. I
And it's
mean,
still to 50 years later.
it's a perfect movie. I
Yeah.
mean, Jaws, perfect movie. Back to the Future, perfect movie. You know, fucking, yeah, awesome. It, like, literally, what
So
is
much
the
love.
best age to show your children this? That's what I want to ask you.
Now, any age.
Any age. Yeah, I don't think
Right
so.
before they go on holiday.
Yeah. The thing is now, I know for a fact when I go in the sea next, I just, you always think about it, isn't there? When you're in the sea, because you can't see nothing. Oh,
Indeedy. Loved it.
scary.
Love it, love it, love it. Right. That is Jaws.
Shame old Geordie Paul went here because it is
Yeah,
actually one of his best,
it
well,
is.
his favorite movie as well, isn't it?
Jaws Revenge he likes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Jaws of Revenge. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, it is Geordie Paul's pick. So he's got to
It
follow it up,
is.
follow that one up. What's it? He sent us his pick. Do you wanna
Yep.
do you wanna read it out?
So, Mr. Geordie Paul has picked for us on the next episode of Draw One Last Breath horror podcast. Our movie from the vault will be 197 will be sorry will be 1971's Blood on Satan's Claw.
Some folk horror
Never seen it.
bollocks.
Never seen
Why?
it.
Why
Well,
go
give
from
it a
Jaws?
try. You always say this, and then you give it a try, and then you'll love it. So shut
Sure,
your mouth.
I will do. Lovely
Or
job.
as Geordie Paul says, shut your fucking mouth.
Right, opening up the floor to you breathers. Please send us your emails, your letters, your tweets, whatever you do, and let us know your experience of watching Jaws. Love to hear
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, so moving on to episode 185, we'll be going to Shudder to do the movie that's has got a lot of love at the moment, called Best Wishes to All, Japanese movie, only 90 minutes, so that's going to be nice. Paul has just picked from the vault a lovely folk horror predating The Wicker Man, The Blood on Satan's Claw. Sounds amazing. Can't wait. And there's only one more thing to say. You're going to need a bigger boat. I mean, when there's no more room in hell, here's another podcast.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
You can follow us on Twitter at DrawOneLast, Instagram at DrawOneLastBreath, or pop us an email at DrawOneLastBreathPod@hotmail.com.